The Brahmos missile developed by India and Russia must be recognized as one of the most serious threats to warships. Its very high speed and low flying ability made it very difficult to be shot down. Brahmos is the fastest missile to date and could be the deadliest missile for the United States Carrier Strike Group. The Russian Brahmos variant is called Onyx and the export variant is called Yakont, while NATO gave it the code SS and 26 Stallion. We will first look at the main advantages of Brahmos. First, the speed of Mach 3 2500 to 3000 km per hour, which makes it very difficult to detect and track. Second, 300 kg semi-armor piercing warhead which causes massive damage upon impact. Third, its very high kinetic energy can destroy small ships and cripples larger ones. Fourth, the S maneuver which occurs a few seconds before hitting the target makes Brahmos very difficult to intercept. These missiles have a range of 300 km at high-low and 400 km more at high-profile altitude, and the absence of wings makes them more difficult to shoot down compared to winged missiles which can fall if their wings are damaged. That is some of the advantages of Brahmos. The main disadvantage of Brahmos is a distance of only 120 km if using the low-altitude sea-skimming profile. Another disadvantage of the Brahmos is also not intelligent missile, as it cannot take its own evasive measures to evade interceptor missiles and follow its predetermined path. There were many rumors that it would be impossible to shoot down Brahmos. This is mainly because NATO's missile defense system is only ready to handle anti-ship missiles with speeds of Mach 1-1.5, which Russia had during the Cold War era. But after the speed of the Onyx or Brahmos was developed up to Mach 2-3, and it shocked the Western world, who did not know what steps to take when dealing with this supersonic missile. But the US Navy appears better equipped to protect its fleet from this threat. The stages in shooting down the Onyx or Brahmos using this modern anti-missile system are what we will describe. And it should be noted that no confidential information is disclosed in this analysis, and all data used are figures released to the public. The analysis uses logic, physics and mathematics with available data to provide an overview of how to deal with Brahmos and the steps for dealing with it. The first step of using a long-range SAM. The best part of using a long-range SAM missile to protect a ship is to fire the missile launch platform before it can fire the missile at you. Because that means you eliminate the source of the threat until you ensure fleet safety. Long-range SAM systems are those which fall in the 80-250 km category, like SM-2, SM-6, Astra 30, Headquarters 9, SAN-6 Grumble Naval S-300, 9M96E Naval S-400. But let's consider the SAMs which are most likely to face the Brahmos. The US Navy uses the SM-2 as its standard long-range SAM on its destroyers. It has a range of 90 more km and uses a semi-active homing radar seeker, which means that the mechanically scanning illuminators on board the warships should provide them with guidance. This proves to be a handicap, as a Burt carries 3 centrally mounted SPG-62 illuminators, which will find it difficult to deal with a multi-directional missile attack. Normally, once the missile is detected at longer ranges if it's following a high-altitude profile, multiple SM-2 missiles are launched to counter the threat. 2-3 SAMs are fired against subsonic threats, so it is safe to assume that 4 to 5 SAMs will be fired at a single incoming Brahmos missile. Again, the SM-2 was not designed to handle a missile flying at 3 times the speed of sound but designed to handle Soviet missiles flying at 1-1.5 times the speed of sound. So it's going to be a very difficult task to shoot down Brahmos, as the attacking party will launch the Brahmos ideally 120 km away from the berg to ensure a complete sea-skimming flight and to delay detection. The SM-6 however is a different case and can intercept supersonic missiles at sea-skimming altitudes and high altitudes as well. This will be a key weapon for the US Navy to defend its fleet against missiles like the Brahmos. Let us consider a scenario in which a Burt-class destroyer escorting a carrier battle group is faced with a swarm of 8 Brahmos or Yacon anti-ship missiles. Once the missiles are detected by the AWACS at 150 more km from the ship, the usual procedure would be to direct fighter jets from a nearby carrier towards the missile to shoot it down. But in this case, the missile is traveling at 3 times the speed of sound. Fighter jets will have 1/3 the time to react when compared to facing subsonic missiles. Hence the chances of a successful shoot-down by fighters is less. But if we consider the destroyer acting alone, meaning there is no air warning, then the new Brahmos will be detected about 25 to 30 km from the ship, and that is the terminal sea skimming phase. Considering a salvo of 8 Brahmos and that the missile travels at 1 km per second, the berg has about 25 to 30 seconds to react. Launching long-range missiles would be futile at this point because the missiles are closing in on the ship fast. The medium-range option available on the berg is the 50 km range Evolved Sea Sparrow missile ESSM, which is quad-packed and hence large quantities are available. This is very useful as one cell packs 4 medium-range SAM compared to 1 long-range SAM. While intercepting supersonic anti-ship missiles, a large number of SAMs are fired to ensure successful interception. So in this case, we can consider about 16 to 24 ESSM ripple fired from the berg towards the incoming missiles. We have 4 SAMs targeting each Brahmos missile and the probability of interception is theoretically 100%. But there is a problem with this. Firing 24 ESSMs takes 24 seconds, 4 ESSMs will target 1 Brahmos, so 24 ESSMs target only 6 Brahmos. Meanwhile, it was mentioned that 8 Brahmos were fired. The other 2 were still rushing toward berg. And the hope is that the phalanx close in the weapon system, short-range weapons system and countermeasures soft kill might still be able to knock out the 2 remaining missiles. Done? Not at all. The problem is that Russia's new generation of frigates and Indian destroyers have the capability to fire 16 Brahmos missiles. So it wasn't just 8 that were fired. If 16 Brahmos were to be fired by a salvo, then berg's defense would be in chaos. The short-range defense system ORSOS in the weapon system phalanx and countermeasures soft kill will probably succeed against 2 more Brahmos, which means a total of 4 Brahmos missiles that can be knocked out until this phase. but you still have 6 supersonic missiles left with a 300-kilogram semi-armor piercing warhead that will quickly hit the 9,000-ton destroyer. We can therefore assume the saturation limit for the Berk alone is to face 12 Brahmos missiles departing simultaneously, and that is already very heavy because all the effort must be spent. All stages are faultless and have great luck. So, if the Berk had to head with a Russian ship or an Indian destroyer carrying 16 Brahmos, then it will be difficult for Berk to return home. But you will be wondering how the Aegis, which is the best system in the world, cannot handle 20 to 30 missiles like the Brahmos. We'll cover that in the next video, so stay tuned.